All right, guys. So in this one, we're going to be going over campaign budget versus ad set budget. We received a lot of questions saying, hey, when do I use campaign budget? When do I use ad set budget? And these are hard constraints, meaning once you set these up, it's just like choosing your sales objective right here. So if you were to change it from, let's say, sales to leads, or if you were to change your pixel conversion, which is, let's go to the ad set. Let's just say if you were to change this, you can't change it after it's been published. So once this campaign is set, those are hard constraints, and that's what I mean by this. Same thing with campaign and ad set budget and your sales objective. And in this one, we're going to be going over the budget strategy. All right, where am I allocating my budget? Am I putting it at the campaign level or am I putting it at the ad set level? Now, I'll touch on why you need both and when to use either or. All right, so let's go to the PowerPoint slide real quick. So campaign budget. So this is without advantage campaign budget. Now Meta renames a lot of things, basically without this checked off. So if you don't have campaign budget on, let's just say you have it at the ad set. Let's go to our PowerPoint slide. So let's say you have it at the ad set and you've set $25 a day, $25 a day, $25 a day. You have, let's say, 4 ad sets. And this ad set, whatever ads inside this ad set, is performing at a 2x return on ad spend. And then this one is performing at a 0.5x ROAS ad spend. This one's performing at a 2x ROAS. This one's performing at a 6x ROAS. You can see there's a big discrepancy. It's like, hey, why is this one just getting $25 a day when I'm getting a 6x return on ad spend? Shouldn't it have a lot more? But remember, you're controlling the ad spend. So if we go back right here, at the ad set budget, that means you set different bid strategies or budgets, schedules for each ad set. So you are the one in control. Now, when you're the one in control, that means Meta's algorithm can't really do a whole lot of testing. But when you set it at the ad set budget, you can do your A/B testing to figure out, all right, which one of these ads performs the best, which one of these audiences performs the best. So let's say, for example, we have our All USA. I've created 2 ad sets. So we have our All USA and let's just say All UK Broad. So we have 2 ad sets, 2 audiences. We're targeting the entire USA and then we're targeting the entire UK and we're keeping it all broad. And we have 3 ads in each ad set, right? And we have it set at the ad set budget. Now, if I were to, let's say, move this guy out of the way. Let's just say if I were to close this real quick and close out of here. Now, if I go back into the campaign itself, this is an example ad account. As you see, I can change the budget at the ad set level. I can say, hey, for all UK, I want to spend $800 a day. Let's just say. Then you can click save. And then for all USA, I can keep it at 20. And what Meta's going to do, that's going to basically spend $800 a day on those 3 ad sets right here. And then for these ad sets right here, which is for the US, which is going to be $20 a day. And it's only going to spend $20 a day, $20 a day, $20 a day, and it's going to divide it between these 3. So you're setting it at the ad set. And you're basically testing to figure out, all right, is this audience that we're targeting, which is all of USA, is this going to work out for us? Is all of UK going to work out for us? All right, so let's go back to the campaign. Let's select edit. So that's ad set budget. Now we have campaign budget, which is a slightly different approach. So if you select campaign budget, now if I close out of this, now what ends up happening? If we go into the ad set, it's like, hey, you're using campaign budget. That means I'm at the campaign level. I can adjust it at the campaign level. What that does is it basically takes the $820. It took the $820 and it's going to spread it across these 2. And it's going to figure out which one works best. Now, keep in mind, you need data. to be able to get good results with, especially with campaign budget. And what I mean by data is if you go to your events manager, so if you select this guy right here, and then we go to your pixel traffic, this is a test pixel, and then if we load it in, all right, so we're at the overview, and you want to have a good amount of traffic when it comes to, let's say, page view, view content, add to cart, initiated checkout, purchases, that kind of thing. So if Meta has a lot of data points, especially when it comes to your customer, it's able to help get you new customers that's more likely to purchase. But if Meta doesn't have a whole lot of data, you really want to select ad set budget. So let's go back to this one. So right now we're at the campaign level. So we're setting it at the campaign. You really want to select this guy. So if you don't have a whole lot of data or you're testing, you want to set it at ad set budget. That way you can control, all right, I'm putting $20 in this ad set because I'm not sure about this audience, this all USA or all UK, and I'm not sure if these ads are going to perform for all UK or all US. So if you're testing new things, go with ad set budget. You control how much each ad set gets to distribute amongst these ads. So if I want to set $20 in this ad set, I can do that. I can go ahead and close. And then let's see if it changed it. So right now, saying using ad set budget. That means all UK, let's say if I know if it's performing well, I can be like, okay, I want to set $8 here a day. Just save. And now it's gonna allocate $8 across these three ad sets. So when you're starting out, what do you go with? Ad set budget. When you know that something is a winner, like, hey, our all USA broad, our audience, let's just say all USA broad, is working out pretty well for us. And let's say this creative is working out well for us. You can then create a separate campaign and have it at the campaign budget. And you basically tell Meta, hey, I know this audience works and I know these ads work. Go ahead and scale them as you see fit. And Meta's going to do a very good job. It's going to test and figure out, all right, is this actually working? Can we put more budget into this? So here's how it's going to work out. So if we move on, so let's say we're spending $70 a day and we're spending $14 a day on this ad set, and then we're spending $2 a day and then $14 a day. Keep in mind, we didn't set these. Remember, when you're doing CBO, which is this guy, when you're doing, campaign budget, which is this guy, when you're setting it at the campaign level, you're telling Meta, hey, you allocate the budget wherever you see fit. All right. So it's going to allocate it based on return on ad spend. So let's say this ad set, let's just say this first ad set, which is going to be all UK. Let's go back. All UK is getting a 6x return on ad spend. So it's going to allocate $70 a day to that. Now it depends on your budget. We're using $100 a day as an example. And then let's just say for your all USA, it's performing at a 2x ROAS. It's going to allocate $14 a day. And then if you have two other ad sets, let's just say you're testing 2 other countries, depending on what the performance is, it's going to allocate, let's just say for this example, it's going to allocate, if it's getting a 0.5x ROAS, it's going to allocate $2 a day. And then let's just say this one, if it's getting a 2x return on ad spend, it's going to allocate $14 a day. So it's going to figure out which ad set works the best, which ads perform the best in this ad set, and then it's going to allocate more budget towards that. So that's campaign budget. That's this guy turned on. When you have the ad set turned on, you control that spend. But again, Meta doesn't have a whole lot when it comes to testing. So whenever you're turning campaign budget, you really want to have a good amount of data. So you want to have your pixel firing, especially add to cart events, purchase events like we went over on the event side. But if you don't have that pixel data firing back, it becomes a lot harder to start with this guy, which is campaign budget. Because what we've noticed is Meta will um, allocate things pretty weird. Like, even though they're getting not a whole lot of return on ad spend, it will allocate a lot of budget towards that. And I'm like, why is it doing that? But it's just because it doesn't have a whole lot of data, and it's thinking, hey, maybe if I get another customer, their ROAS, which is return on ad spend, will increase. So when in doubt, go at the ad set budget, and then once you have um, good creatives that are actually working, you can then put a separate campaign and you can put a campaign budget. But campaign, you're gonna see a lot of rebranding when it comes to like Advantage and all that other stuff. It's just Meta's way of saying, hey, um, this is like kind of our advanced future or that kind of thing. It's just basically taking a lot of control from your end, and it's just saying, hey, give us the control so that way we can figure out what works and what doesn't. So start off with ad set budget whenever you're creating your prospecting campaigns, and whenever you're creating your retargeting campaigns, you can also start at the ad set budget, especially if you don't have a whole lot of data. And then once you have a lot of purchase events, let's just say whatever, maybe 20 purchase events, 30 purchase events, and you have add to cart events, you have page views and that kind of thing. So the pixel has a good amount of data. You can start to go towards campaign budget and see if that works well for you. But if campaign budget doesn't work for you, let's just say in your prospecting side, which is cold traffic, if you're testing new audiences, and you're like, hey, I want to allocate the budget because Meta doesn't seem to know where to allocate my budget at, then do it at the ad set budget. But ultimately, you're testing to figure out what works well for you at this situation. So when in doubt, go ad set budget, and then down the line, you can start to be utilized campaign budget where Meta can basically do all the heavy lifting for you and figure out, all right, this ad set is performing well. I can allocate $70 a day, which is ad set is going to be this guy. So ad set and then all the ads underneath. So Meta's going to be like, all right, this ad set is performing well for us. All the ads are performing good. We're going to allocate $70 a day, and so on and so forth, depending on the performance of the ads. That's campaign budget at its finest. All right, with that said, I'll see you in the next one.